No.
All right, so here we go. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So this is Lou Martin here with Medina Sovereign, and
Oh,
the
Labakan.
shoes.
Sorry, it's Labakan, not Sovereign. That's just my Facebook name.
Okay. So introduce yourself. My name is.
My name is Medina Labakan,
And you are from.
Australia, and from an island actually in not Ireland as in Ireland where you are, but an actual island.
Yes. Yes. Where are you from, actually, Medina? Tell me. Tell me.
It's one of the Moreton Bay Islands in Queensland, and
Wow.
it's just a little island. It's 8 kilometers long, about 3 kilometers wide,
Brilliant.
surrounded by probably 1,000 little islands here, and it's a lovely part of the world and beautiful temperatures. The only issue is there are little sandfly things here which are called midges, but we're working with that. I'm trying to work with their consciousness and tell their consciousness to go away.
It's heaven on earth except for the midges.
That's right.
Okay. So let me take a moment then. This is my new friend, Medina, and we've connected, and we're doing an event for the eclipse coming up here on Tuesday together, and that will be live. And Medina was just telling me that she actually found me through the Kevin Moore interview that her partner Ed turned her on to.
Zed.
Sorry?
With Zed. Zed.
Ned. Thank you. Okay, getting it all straight now. All right, I'm making notes. So I'm give my love to Zed and thank him for referring me to you. And then Medina has also been on my Awakened Spirits Network page of teachers and teachings that I want to support and promote. So long story short, we're also doing a 4-part workshop on opening to channel at the end of November, beginning of December together. And I'm excited about that. But Medina is a singer, songwriter, musician, artist, activist, earth shaker, earth mover, goddess, queen of the realm. So I just wanted to share her with everyone and learn more about her story. So welcome, Medina. It's great to get to know you here.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I'll go with all that, though. It sounds way more than I can humbly accept. But anyway, thank you.
If the shoe fits, we need goddesses. I think I'm talking to one here. That's so. Tell me a little bit about your own spiritual story and how you got on this path and some of the things you're involved with at this point. And you said you had an exciting story from today.
Yes, I do actually. Well, thank you so much for having me here. I'm very honored to chat with you and be here. And I guess my journey has been, I started out not really having the spiritual divine connection till sort of a bit later in life. I was exploring when I was younger the best way to live my life, and I went to university at tertiary level. I thought maybe it's through building my my mental capabilities, and so I did some tertiary degrees and a postgraduate diploma, and I thought, well, no, that doesn't really do it for me. It doesn't really make me happy. So I'll try the exercise route, and I became a like a person that does the a lot of exercise.
Sure, physical trainer, this kind of thing.
Yeah. So I was doing that sort of thing, and I found that even though it felt good in terms of physically, the serotonin levels and everything like that felt good, it wasn't the whole picture. So there was something more that I was missing. And then life went along, and I ended up getting married and having kids. And when my children were small, I started to pursue meditation, and then I realized it all sort of kicked in, and I realized that that was the path that really lit my fire and really was inspiring for me. And so the lady that started teaching me meditation said to me, "You'll be teaching this soon." And I thought, "Oh, no, I won't. I'm surely not." And then sure enough, in a short space of time, I was teaching groups and doing that. And then I pursued a whole lot of, alternative modality trainings, like, doing Reiki, becoming a Reiki master, and then learning Pleiadian light work, full sensory perception healing. I got a qualification in Qualified Minister of Healing. It's a US qualification. And so I've been an energy worker and doing energy healing work for a very long time now, probably about 30 years. And yeah, so I just sort of reading people's energy and working out what it is they're wanting to work on at that time, that's going to really accelerate their progress on their journey. So that's been a really big part of my last 30 years. And then also working with children as well as adults, teaching, and then doing creative pursuits as well, like you mentioned, writing music. I got a international publishing deal, and then we also had a song in a movie. I had a few videos made from different record companies, made some videos of our songs. And yeah, so that was really fun. I toured with my music around one of the states in Australia, and sang in a lot of healing centers actually, and things like that. And then I also painted and sold commissions with paintings. And although that's it's relatively sort of amateur, my work, but it's very vibrant. It has a lot of high frequency encodings in the paintings. All this.
I have your butterflies on my wall, my friend. I printed them out.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Lovely.
And that butterfly picture was inspired by a healing that was done with someone, where we literally had waves of butterflies fly over us as this person had their own awakening. So their eyes went from being dull in this session to shining with light. So they had
Beautiful.
like a real spiritual birthing, actually. And then from that, all these butterflies flew over us for hours. So that's where that painting came from. But
great.
Yeah. And so that was my journey, very much involved in developing my own spiritual evolution. Very passionate about working on my shadow aspect and all the things that I needed to work on within myself, which of course is an ongoing journey forever. But in the last few the last few years I've been really, really passionate about raising consciousness and sort of working with the energies of what's presented on the planet. And what I was guided to do was, when this whole journey began with the pandemic, can I say that word?
Yeah.
When the whole journey began with that, I was running a healing center in Victoria, and they told me really clearly, they said, shut it down now. And I thought, oh gosh, okay. So I shut it down, and within a week, everything in the center was sold. I was able to very easily let it go and get out of the lease and everything. And then the whole pandemic thing kicked in. And then from that point, I got very strong guidance to build my activism. And so what I did, which was an interesting journey, was I saw the people who were standing up in Australia, and I wrote down a list of all the people I thought who were making a difference. And one of the ladies that I contacted on that list was incredible. And she said to me, she said, oh my gosh, Medina, she said, I have the same list. And so she was going to contact them all too. So then we contacted them, and we set up a group. And I won't mention the name of the group, because we did it all undercover, which we had to do because of what's going on here in Australia, and and all the sort of the corruption that's happened here, which has been trying to suppress all these things. So anyway, we set up this group, and we had a big admin team in there, and we had lawyers, and we had people that were sending out letters, and we had a beautiful website with a fantastic website person, and we'd be sending out newsletters to heaps of emails. And we we really did a lot of activism to raise awareness and consciousness of all the untrue information that was going out, that was creating fear and was pushing people toward this, you know, the globalist agenda that was being, you know, perpetuated. And so we did that, and that was great to do. And it was wonderful to connect with some of those really empowering people as well. And then from that point, it was a really interesting journey, because then we were it's funny because I can't say all the words, unfortunately, because I
understand.
Yeah.
No, I understand. Yeah.
Well,
it's tricky.
Well, I was actually legally told not to speak about, but this thing happened where we went out all around Australia in regards to things that were happening that were not good for people. And I know you know what we mean when we talk about that. And
yes.
So we had a big role to play with that, actually, but I'm not allowed to speak about it. But that went out, and it was very challenging, actually. We sort of took a bullet for the team, really. But apparently we asked metaphysically, we made a big difference with what happened at a higher level with what went out with that. Because I actually spoke to God, and I said to God in a meditation, I said, I don't want people to be damaged. I don't want people to be hurt or damaged. I want to help. And then this thing was presented to me in the physical that was pretty full on, but it did make a big difference. And apparently that the divine gave it to us. Someone had to do it, and they gave it to us, and we did it, and it made a difference. So I can't talk about it because I'd love to, but I have to. Keep.
Yeah. I hear you, darling. Well, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad to know you, my friend. And I'm fighting the same fight over here. And you know, with we all have to be extremely circumspect and discerning about what we say online and how we communicate our ideas. And it's not like it was 3 years ago. That's for sure. You know?
No, that's right. I mean, I don't know if people have been watching what's happening in Australia, but I was in Victoria. Victoria was the most suppressed, censored, corrupt state that there was, and that's why I moved north to Queensland, to this island with my partner. And so we were down there, and just down the road, a lady was arrested for doing a Facebook post. So you know, it was just unbelievably full on, you know, and the tyranny of the police as well, you know, with the protests and what was going on there. It was just, you know, it was like a country you would never imagine it would happen in Australia, but it was all happening, and that we had the longest lockdowns there in the world. Just went on and on and on. So you know, it's been years.
Ireland had the longest lockdowns in Europe, so we have that to claim.
Yeah. So you know, we're all doing what we can, and I always have a sense that I'm not doing enough, you know, that I need to be doing more. And from that at the same time when all that was happening, I was also I've been working with sessions with people, you know, spiritual healing work, and I've been doing mentoring with people. I've also run for over a year now a soul healing group, which has worked. Yeah, and we've worked with some incredible groups of people that's morphed and changed over that period of time. But we've worked on healing the planet, and we've worked on doing some healing for ourselves. And, you know, I can give you an example of one time we worked on the Parliament House in Australia, in Canberra. And big healing on that. It was a really big one. And then during that week on the news, they had this huge sort of lightning strike happened and hit the spire of the Parliament.
Right, I heard that.
Yeah. And that was just we'd worked on it. So I thought, oh, wow, that's a confirmation.
Absolutely, there's some confirmation. Who's the, bless you, darling, who's the pilot who had to quit his Qantas job and was really involved?
Yes, he's a friend of some friends of ours. You know, he's sort of in the circle. His name
Hoodie,
is Graham Hood.
Hoodie,
Yes.
Graham Hood,
And
yes, yes.
we actually went and visited. We've got friends who were looking at living where he's living. We went to visit his town where he lives.
Right,
I haven't actually
right,
met him, but I did have one of the Qantas
right.
hostesses on an interview that I did. It's on my channel, and she talked about the challenges with Qantas that she'd had, where she'd had incredible discrimination, and she was a good friend of his as well. So, yeah, he's in the sort of in the periphery there with everything,
Yeah.
but he's doing a great job. And
He's a great character. He's a wonderful character. Yeah,
he's lovely, and
yeah.
so. Oh gosh, there's been so much going on, and you know we've just had these incredibly well, sort of nefarious, I guess you could say, weather incidents, geoengineering with massive
Fires and floods.
massive flooding. Yes, I was in earlier when we lived over a year ago somewhere else. We were around all these flooded areas, and it was pretty huge, you know, what people had to. And then one of the towns had 3 different incidents of flooding over and over and over. So, and of course, you know, they were places where the strong cities were targeted to be built, and the government coming in and offering people money to buy their homes, and you know, take
Really? No, I hadn't heard that part of it. Okay, all right.
Coincidentally where they were, but you know, all this, and then you know, the other part too, Lou, is navigating, you know, being aware of everything that's going on, and the agendas that we're dealing with, but then also at the same time, as a spiritual being, being able to hold a higher frequency and be in the angelic, you know, frequencies. And because I love working with the angels, and to not to get caught up in that, but just it's a balance between being aware and working with activism to make a difference, but at the same time being able to stay in the higher frequencies of the divine trust and the angelic frequencies. And you know, so that has been my challenge, is to navigate those 2.
You're my hero, sweetheart. You are walking the talk 100%. God love you. I'm not doing anything on that level over here. I'm cheering you on. Bless you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. What I will share with you, which we can talk about once we get offline, is I am Mr. Research, and I have come across some answers to what's been happening about you know what, and you know, this will blow your mind, because very few people have heard about this. We can save that for another moment.
Fantastic. I also work with a higher energy that actually works on undoing aspects of that too. So I call them in with my sessions, and we do work on that as well. Yeah.
Yes, I'd love to hear more about that sometime. That's very important. Yes, great. You're helping people to heal from these injuries, basically. Yeah,
it's
wonderful.
Undoing as much as possible of that. And you know, of course, you can't make any specific claims, but I call in those energies and do as much as I can to help with that. So and then
again, I'm thrilled. I'm filled with inspiration here through your example, my friend. Thank you for all that.
And I also I'd love to also share too that I have a Patreon community, which is an online global community for people to come together, because so many people have felt isolated and disconnected through all this. And so it's for people to come together and connect, and I share posts about things that are really helpful and beneficial. And
yes, we'll put that link with the video here, sure.
And it has even like things like a community chat, which is a fortnightly chat where people can come and talk about all their things and let things off their chest, you know, because, you know, when you talk and you're able to sort of release your stress and things like that, that was one of the purposes of putting that together. And for the example, a few weeks ago when we all came together, there was a real theme happening of people saying that they were noticing that there was a lot of anger and aggression out in the community. Often they think maybe to do with this as well, where they're dealing with people that are really releasing a lot of this sort of pent up negative, aggressive type energies. And then how did we all deal with that, and sort of supporting one another through that process of how you navigate these things that we're now dealing with that we've never had to deal with before.
Sure. Yeah. Great. Well, again, you and I have another conversation once we get done with our interview here, which will be really good. Honey, that's just fantastic. I'm thrilled to know you, honest to God, and you've just given me so much to think about. And I'm just so grateful to be in your movie and be a part of your life. You're doing amazing work. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'd love to work with kids more, to help work with kids. You know what I'd really love to, and I don't know how this will manifest, but I was inspired by you, because the other day when I mentioned this to you, said we're going to do it all, when the new energies come in, which is super exciting. But to create, wouldn't it be amazing to be able to create uplifting movies that were just pure and divinely inspired? Because there's not much out there at the minute that you can watch that has that purity and that really uplifting high frequency energy, that in terms of entertainment or information. So I'd love to do all that. So anyway, I'm putting it out to the universe.
Oh, that's great. Well, I grew up in LA, acting and loving movies, and was in a professional program at one point for acting, and I have a lot of friends in that world. So yeah, that's dear to my heart. I wrote for TV for a year. Yeah. All that is exciting.
My sister was actually quite a well-known actress on TV when I was young, and I did amateur theatre, and then I knew I also had my daughter did acting. She did some Shakespearean. She got an amazing role, actually. There was one position that was given out to someone in Australia as the Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream in their classic Shakespearean production in Melbourne, and she got the part, and she had like a makeup and all this, and so she's done some amazing acting stuff. And so I do have that in my sphere as well, all that sort of world. But my dad was also a celebrity accountant. He had Eartha Kitt and AC/DC were his clients.
Okay, great.
I met AC/DC, and I was way taller than them all, and I was only 13.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Love those little. Say again. Sorry.
Oh, the lead singer was called Bon Scott too. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Great. Well, we'll keep all that in mind for the future. Yes, we'll give AC/DC a call and see if they'd like to fund a positive movie for humanity.
Well, now I've got a different sort of take on all that stuff.
Sure, honey. Sure.
I'm really not into that whole, stuff of celebrity thing.
Yeah.
Because, as we know, a lot of them have done things that are very damaging to their soul in order to get there. And so, everyone is equal. And I've always come from that base. It doesn't matter if you're the toilet cleaner or whatever, we're all the same. So I'm not into all that stuff. But
well, you're channeling the goddess right now, my friend. You're doing a fine job. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Great. Well, anything you want to say as we come down the home stretch here? That was a lot of great information, great inspiration. I can't wait to do our next bit together here on Tuesday.
Oh, me too. I'm a very, very blessed and honored to know you and to work with you, Lou. It's a great gift, that we have this ability now, with the internet, to connect with all these incredible people around the world. Like I pick my favorite people, such as yourself, and I go, I'd love to meet them. And I connect. It's so exciting. But I had something interesting happen today. I'd love to share with you. So my father is 92, and I rang him this morning because there's certain days he wants me to ring just to make sure that he's woken up, basically, because he doesn't have anyone there to check, because he lives by himself still. And my mother also is 93. They're doing incredibly well. They both live separately, but they're friends. But they're divorced, but they're both living independently in their homes. And he said to me, "Oh, this is so interesting that in the last week," he said, about 5 days ago, he had his iPad out and he was sitting outside and this giant Australian king parrot. And if you know these birds, they're stunning. They're green and they're red and they're so beautiful. It alighted on his iPad and looked at him. And then he said it was just an amazing moment. And
Wow.
I said, my dad's not really into this stuff. And I said, well, you know,
Yeah.
this is, you know, a message, a higher message, you know.
Yeah.
And so then he said that. And then he said a few days later, he had a similar experience with a beautiful bird in Australia called a kookaburra. Do you know about the kookaburras?
Yes. Yes.
It's got this really loud laugh. It's incredibly loud. It's quite overwhelming when you hear it for the first time, but it's and it goes on and on and on. But this kookaburra, again, he looked at it through the window, and it was just looking, gazing right in his eyes, and for quite a bit of time. So we had these two profound bird encounters in the last week.
Yeah.
And so when I asked, I said, "Oh, what's that about?" And it was really, I think, what I got, if I'm interpreting it correctly, so I'm just going with my intuition, was
Yeah.
the birds are the sort of like a bridge between the earthly realm and the spiritual realm. And so these birds, I felt, were helping him navigate his journey to the realm, to his transition.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and they're helping him through. And I had a few tears this morning, you know, quite a few tears, because I thought, oh, you know, maybe it's really close, you know, that he is, this is coming up.
Yes.
These birds were coming to him to really help and support him at the moment. And that's what I got when I interpreted it. So it was really,
I think you're right. I think you're right, Medina.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, sweetheart. Bless you.
Yeah, and then the birds are you know, that beautiful bridge, between the two realms.
Yeah, no, this is true, sweetie, and bless your heart. I mean, you know, before we started, we talked about grace. You know, this is, it's really, it is a gift from the Divine Mother, you know, and grace are these moments of intimacy and synchronicity, you know, where life is saying, you know, I see you. Are you getting the message? Do you remember the bigger picture? Do you know where we're going now? You know, can you trust me a little bit? This kind of thing, yeah.
And then I had all these tears, which is my higher self knowing that time's coming very shortly, and
sure, honey,
and getting myself in preparation for you know, if it happens soon. So that's all very interesting. And you know, even the fact that that our event, I didn't plan it to be on such an incredible great gateway of November the 8th that Patricia Coder-Robles talked about, is a really profound energy on that day. So, you know, that's just the higher self that sets things up for us, and we just go with the flow, and then it all goes as it does.
Darling, absolutely. I mean, this is what trust is. Bless you and your dad and his journey, and that's a brilliant story. And I think you're absolutely right, honey. This is 92 is a big number. You know, that's a lot of sunrises and sunsets. You know, God love them. But yeah, there is magic in the air, and you know, Mother Nature is always whispering to us if we have a heart to listen to her. So that's a great gift for both of you.
Absolutely.
And thank you for sharing that with all of us.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you. Well, will we leave it on that profound, powerful, poignant, heart-opening note? I think we can't do any better than loving your dad and you and the beauty of Australia, and seeing what's next for all of us.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, darling. And I want to say you have your Arise Humanity YouTube channel with about 6,000 subscribers, which is wonderful. And Medina's done many great interviews, both giving and receiving. And I'm thrilled to be in your company, my friend. This just gets better and better. So thank you again.
Thank you. Completely mutual. Thank you, Lou.